finding folks in the Libyan social structure, it's easy to find like three groups. The first group is Gaddafi and his followers, and they consider like his relatives, and they are Gaddafi. And the second group is the revolutionary committees, and they belong to Gaddafi's system and belong to his authority. And the third group is the big public mass. And all of them, they concentrate in Tripoli. Tripoli now under the blockade from his arms, under blockade from his followers. And because Tripoli is the capital, then of course they concentrate there, and it's hard to like empty that blockade. And we hope that it can come soon, inshallah.
Okay, we're going to make this the last question of the day, okay?
Okay, thank you. I promise I'll be nice. From what I understand in today's conversations, that Libya is now basically divided into two areas that are at each other's throat. The military is not going to the rebel side anymore, like the first days we saw when the pilots actually parachuted and crashed their airplanes. That's not happening anymore. I see Tripoli from a different perspective. I see it geographically as a Mediterranean area, and all power and population is concentrated around the Mediterranean coast. So I can understand why the West is trying to impose a no-fly zone, but I cannot understand why they're not trying to impose a naval blockade, which will not actually interfere in the daily affairs of the Libyan liberation, but still be able to put pressure on Gaddafi, and we know that he's going to fight to the death. I mean, he's going to either die or kill everybody in the process. Why isn't this happening? This is a mystery to me.
I think that's a very good question. I think what's important to remember right now is that Gaddafi is able to channel resources and support through a couple of physical channels. One is Tripoli Airport. You know, he's able to fly in journalists on little dog and pony shows, you know, through his command of the skies of Libya. The other area through which he's drawing support is the enormous land border in the south. And you know, that's one of the reasons why Sabah is important, because it's an oasis, it's an area that's securely in his, you know, it's controlled by tribes that are affiliated with him. And it's also it's a channel for these hundreds, possibly thousands of Tuareg who are still coming. And these guys are actually able to transport themselves because they have their own four-wheel drive vehicles. You know, they've gotten the call, they're driving up. So, I mean, a blockade would be helpful. I'm not saying that it's a waste of time, but it's not a silver bullet. It's not going to destroy the regime. Just like even a no-fly zone is not a silver bullet. There's no single quick, easy solution to this. It's a combination of actions that will eventually be necessary and sufficient to see the back of Gaddafi. It really boils down to how quickly it happens.
Let me make a quick point. One of the things that, you know, it's not obvious, but it is happening. There are a lot of military officers sort of liquidated because they refused orders. And some of the pilots actually fly, but they don't actually bombard people. I mean, we've seen that. So it's not that the military is actually not defecting anymore. And I think it's a matter of their ability to defect without sort of being killed, and also having sort of some incentives to defect. Now, what could be actually more important than a no-fly zone or sort of naval blockade is providing anti-aircraft missiles to those in the areas, because that will take this sort of aspect of the conflict out, and providing also some sort of logistics and training to these men. And I think that's more important than sort of no-fly zone, because still, I mean, the air power is not actually that massive.
But that's a long-term problem. I mean, training is great. All wars are basically won on trained people, but that would mean a 2, 3, 5-year period. It's not going to happen overnight. It's just not going to happen. We have to realize that Gaddafi might be leading in Libya for the next 4 or 5 years.
We might very well,
I hope not, but
yeah, we might very well see the army defecting. I mean, that's possible.
The pilots, just let you know, none of the Libyans are right now allowed to take off, right? Because he doesn't trust them anymore. He took out the jumping parachute from them in order to allow them not to run. This is serious. The no-fly zone not just to protect people, but also to prevent mercenaries from troubling them throughout for his protections also. So it's important to have a no-fly zone in Libya to protect at least the innocent people there and prevent him from maneuvers around with those mercenaries and bring them from one side to the other. That's another issue that we... One more thing about the Libyans. If you ask any Libyan a month ago, what will be your flag?
A solid green block.
No, right, currently with the cover. But now, if the Gaddafi dies, let's say a month ago, I'm asking this question: the Gaddafi died, what will be your flag? Nobody will put this one as our, at least some. All of a sudden, right now, everybody loves this flag, just because you want unity. Yeah, so people want this is raised. This is the independent flag. That's in 1952. Was established in 1949 when we putting the country together. And after that, everybody thinks, well, this is the kingdom, so I want to go to the monarchy again. No, this is not. Everybody understood this, and all of a sudden, everybody united under one flag. Let's show you how our hearts are right now, how we are hungry for unity, for independence, for freedom of speech and so forth. That's why once this one put on everybody.
Okay.
I have this one for 25 years. I couldn't get it out, and now I'm carrying it almost every day. So 25 years I'm hiding it.
We're going to conclude the panel at this point. Let's give our panelists another round of applause.